with the three of us went through the dry Canaanite tunnel. As you went down the steps and went into the dark with the water coming out under your feet, there was a shaft to the left. Then if you look down that shaft on the left, rock
Yeah.
shaft, very tall, very narrow. That is the only water shaft that we found that was around in David's day. The only one. And it came out and it fed out through here and it spilled out into the valley and it irrigated the crops of the Jebusites. I just want to read one little passage to you from Second Samuel. Times past, the soul was moved over. It was you who led us out of Jerusalem. And the Lord said to you, you shall be shepherd of my people Israel, you shall be priest over Israel. So all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, and David made a covenant with them at Hebron before God, and they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old. I've not talked about this. In the Talmud, the age of authority is 30 years old. What age is David when he gets control over Egypt, like the prime minister of Egypt? He's 30 years old. What age is David when he gets to be king over all of Israel, not just Judah? He's 30 years old. What age is Jesus when he gets baptized by John the Baptist and starts his ministry? He's 30 years old. Numbers in the Bible are extremely significant. Nothing is just for the sake of it. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a meaning. David was 30 years old when he began to reign. He reigned 40 years. 40 isn't just like that in the Bible. 40 means testing or preparation. Preparation for what? For the building of sanctuary. I think I've mentioned already, Elijah in the desert, the people in the wilderness, 40 years all the time. He reigned 40 years. At Hebron he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months, and at Jerusalem he reigned over all Israel and Judah 33 years. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem against the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land. Because what David's down 25 kilometers south of here, in the heart of Judea. Judea has already swallowed up Simeon in the Beersheba Valley, and they're together. And half of Benjamin, you're sitting in Benjamin. The other side of the Ben Hinnom Valley, over there, is already Judah. This is Benjamin, you're on the border. But all this northern patch is already with David. Most of Benjamin, the remnant of Benjamin was with David. You have basically three tribes. He wants to make his capital closer to where all the tribes can come together. It doesn't make a lot of sense. He could have taken Mitzvah from where Paul and Saul ruled and where Samuel judged all Israel. It's a much higher up place. This low down city surrounded by mountains. Well, nobody had artillery, so it was safe to be surrounded by valleys and mountains. Why did David choose this low down place? When you go to Hebron and you go up on the hill of Hebron, you'll see that Hebron too is surrounded by mountains. It's still up in the middle. So maybe there's a parallel. I don't know. The point is, the king is going to do against the Jebusites. He's crossing over to take a city in the land of Benjamin, not in Judah. The inhabitants of the land have said to David, you're not coming here. The blind and the lame will keep you out. How does that come across to David? It comes across to David. These Jebusites are, remember what it says in the Valley of Elah? Mocking the army of the living God. Not him, the host of Israel. And that David is consumed with rage at this. These are people who disrespect our God. Look at it again. Thinking David will not come in here. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion. That is the city of David. And David said on this day, whoever would strike the Jebusites, let him go up the water shaft to attack the lame and the blind, who are hated by David's soul. Therefore it is said, the blind and the lame shall not come into the house. And David lived in the stronghold and called it the city of David. And David built the city all around from the Millo inwards, and David became greater and greater, for the Lord, the God of the host was with him. That curse continued through to the Second Temple period. If you were blind, if you were lame, you weren't allowed to take the offering inside the temple compound to the sanctuary to the priesthood. You have to give it to a third party. You weren't allowed in the compound if you were blind or lame. Think of the man in John 5. Never been in the temple compound. He sat there lame for 38 years. Think of this young man who may have been born blind. Okay? Once he gets his sight, he's able to go to the temple for the first time in his life. Jesus is extremely deliberate in what he does and where he does it. We discussed in the north where he chose to raise a widow's son, right where Elijah had done the same thing. And here, the only two supernatural miracles, because he heals all the people in Jerusalem, okay? But it's all the stuff he's done everywhere. And some other people have done similar things. Here he chooses like two completely supernatural healings. And he does them in Jerusalem. One is lame, and one is blind. He's basically saying, I'm removing David's curse. That starts even before his ministry. There's something I didn't mention to you, I forgot. But think of the shepherds. I half forgot to talk about this, but sorry to delay another second. Shepherds. Who bears witness with the good news to the people? Shepherds, right? Shepherds were forbidden from bearing witness in a Jewish court in the first century. Or the first century BC. Or the second century BC. Or the second century AD. Shepherds didn't go to school. They didn't go to the synagogue. They didn't learn the Torah. They didn't learn God's instruction. They didn't know wrong from right. They're out with their flocks, so they can't bear witness. And yet the first witness comes from the shepherds. This story of rehabilitation of the people who are outcasts, downtrodden, and so on. With that, I'm finished.
That's great. Thank you.